supposed to be auctioned by the National Treasury to raise revenues for government are given to individuals who then sell them off to Safaricom in open market, right, with Kenyans.
Brian, engaging in many matters. Unfortunately, I have to again cut your presentation, not significantly, but to some portion. Appreciate Brian Kagoro.
Honorable Mother Karua, I have always known you to be a law-abiding citizen, but the company you are in is the legal representation. Countries have become crime scenes, and unfortunately, our welfare. Several conduits through which money is looted from the state that are in the report were describing a utopian country elsewhere far from us, but unfortunately it's describing a reality. But it's a reality that must be appreciated in the context of the unemployment statistics, a reality that must be appreciated in the context of the number of Kenyans who go to bed without a meal every day or having had only one meal. It's a reality that must be appreciated in the context of the number of women who are dying without access to appropriate medical care, and the number of poor citizens who are dying without access to medication. Or the number, because annually they are at a global level. So this is not like a Liverpool or an Arsenal or Gor Mahia game where you can afford to lose and wait for the next match. And excuse the law, let me put it this way, to quote a friend of mine who said to me, Brian, an average African child, present generations and generations before of politicians, were wise enough to take debts in their names in order to either build white things that make them look good, the big cars, the big houses, and etc., all borrowed in the name of children who are not yet born. Obligations spread on your heads. At some stage, as we saw in Sri Lanka and we have seen elsewhere, the creditors will come and take ports, take institutions. So this is not a Gor Mahia match. We're not describing a bad game. One said to be a Negro, a black person in America, and not live in perpetual outrage might mean that you're abnormal. That once you are appreciated, are conscious of your reality, you cannot afford but to be unhappy. If Kenyan democracy were the human heart, it doesn't matter who else will come into power, they will have to deal with the hole that you have drilled at the heart of the democracy. There will not be enough in the coffers to pay for roads, to pay for basic amenities. There will not be enough to fix the water problem. There will not be enough to fix the problem somebody took the drilling machine and kept drilling. So, you know, before there was enough country maybe and enough money for people to steal, and we could talk about how much they were stealing. They were stealing from an abstract thing called a country. But no, they're not stealing from an abstract thing called a country. They're actually stealing from your pensions. I have the privilege of being Zimbabwean. Somebody was drilling the problem of graft. We even joined our cousins in South Africa to describe this problem of state capture. We wrote wonderful reports on this problem, bureaucratic capture. And then we even wrote as, and the military, the conflation of the bureaucracy and for people today. I'm not saying anything about the report. I'm simply saying the report should be like just a malfunction. Sometimes it my recipient of funds and we use or with finance. But they were so financially and economically illiterate that the politicians were able to do as they please, because the common person did not get interested until the country was prepared in 2004. And I can tell you the country has been in election mode. And the faces we've seen are not faces of people that are building industries, faces of people that are transforming places like Turkana. They are not faces of people that are, no. It's politicians. There's nothing wrong with politicians. Do not know. We're dealing with the problem of power that has never been held to account, or power that has known how to weapon, dealing with a power have given their energy. And the young people who were young in 2002, the young people who were young in 1994, the young people who were young in 2017, not so young, and they are literate, articulate paupers. Let me repeat. Little disaster. Do you want to know what that disaster is? If today another epidemic or pandemic happens, we're screwed. Their opportunity to produce sustainability and security in their lives is taken. And the cast of the thieves changes. As we say in that Swahili proverbs, the trees have changed, but the monkeys remain the same. We have it within our hands to educate ourselves and educate those around us about the theft you can see and the theft that you can't see. About the network, the top pittances think they are benefiting children and your loved ones for Christmas. Those who stop you on the road asking you for chai. There is something that joins them to the rot. Kenya has some of the best brains, not just on this continent, in the world. But Kenya has some of the bravest people on this continent, in the world. But Kenya has some of the bravest people